I've got some recommendations I think would be of benefit and use to you. This is how I level all of my artifacts. I'm very self-gratuitous, so if you're anything like me, you don't really have a lot of patience and you want to get the most bang for your buck. Now, I'm going to use this character as an example. This is my villain. So as you can see, I've got a 180 strat card, a 145 Quizlet, and a 160 transformation card. I have not spent any money on these artifacts. I've just leveled them over time. And I don't plan on spending any money on these artifacts. I also have a handful of troll artifacts here that I need to level, along with Parasite's Power Harness. But we are going to try to wait for double XP on these. However, in the meantime, I do like to get my artifacts up to a certain level. So, what I like to do is I like to hold on to the caches. We take the net metal that we get from the daily login rewards. We hold this stuff because this is going to be a lot. This is 35,000. So when we have double artifact XP, that's 70, right? That's quite a bit. So here's what you need to know. It's roughly, the XP differs per artifact, kind of. So it's roughly going to be about a mil, give or take, in XP to get it from 0 to 160. And it can usually be almost as much going from 160 to 200. I'll give you an example. The Bop Comlink here, I just maxed that out on Wooly, and going from level 191 to 200 cost me about $30. Okay, so that was with the net metal from the marketplace and a sale of completion. So $30 just to go from 190 to 200. So keep that in mind. But here's the thing. I want to clarify something because all you really need is your artifacts to level 80 to 120. Okay, and then they're going to be useful because prior to level 80, you don't get any benefits. So those numbers that you see there, 4% might, 4% dominance, 4% restoration, etc., you're not getting any of that prior to level 80, right? So if I scroll down here, we can see the upcoming rank bonuses. None of that really is going to be beneficial until rank 80. It's not going to be anything significant. So a lot of these won't even proc until level 80, like Quizlet won't even come out until level 80, right? So 80 is the minimum of where you want to get your artifact, and it doesn't take much to get it there. 120 is a really good place to have your artifact, because here's the thing I want to clarify, which is why I'm mentioning all of this, is getting your artifacts as 200 is the goal. It's very nice. 160 is obviously a very sweet spot to be at. So if you can aim for 160 during double artifact XP, get all your artifacts to 160 or as many as you can, right? But 120 is the ideal place for anybody playing to get their artifact to, and I'll tell you why. Because having your artifact to 200, yes, it is the end goal, but here's the thing, guys. It really only matters in the latest 3 DLC. So right now, if we go down here, we go to custom play, let's just look at the raids. We go down in tier 6. Your 200 artifacts are only going to matter in Shock to, the Terrarium, Neuron's Underworld, and of course Rock of Eternity, same episode, and Dark Knight Source Wall. Only place they're really going to matter and you're going to get the max effect from them is going to be the last 3 DLCs. They'll still matter a little bit in the tier 6 stuff, but not as significantly. And then, of course, it's heavily reduced when you go down to, tier 5, tier 4, tier 3, etc. So if you're just running a lot of Omnibus, it's the last thing you really need to worry about. Unless you're doing elite stuff heavily, Um, Getting your artifact to 200 is not that big of a deal. Okay, it's not going to make that much of a difference because you could go into something in Omnibus with a 200 artifact, and if somebody is just a better player than you and they go in there with 140 arts, they're going to wax you all across the board. So it's not a big deal, guys. Remember, it's only important in the last 3 DLCs, so keep that in mind. Okay. Like I said, it is the end goal, but it's not the only goal. So 120 should be what you aim for when you start working on new artifacts, especially if you're not planning on jumping right into Elite. And even if you are, it's fine. Um, the only time that's probably going to be a hindrance is if you are the tank, the troll, or the healer. If you're a DPS, it's not as big of a deal. Um, but you're probably not going to be running Elite raids with 120 yards anyways. So, like I said, 120 is a good place to get your artifacts for pretty much 90% of this game. Okay. Other than that, guys, if you want to save and level your artifacts, the best way I can recommend doing that, of course, is getting your detectors from Dr. Fate when you get your daily logins. So when you get these Fate tokens, they're 25 each for one detector. You can get it from Dr. Fate. You can get 5 a week. So depending on how much you play, you can really max it. And of course, you can sell stuff in the broker. The prices vary on these detectors. Typically, it'll be anywhere from 3 to 5 mil. Right now, they are up a bit in price because we have double nth metal this week. But if you can work the broker to your advantage, you can buy quite a few detectors out of there and really start stacking. So what I like to do, because we want to be as efficient as possible with leveling, is I will hold the caches. I will hold this purple flawless nth metal, and then I will use this extra net that comes in from the nth metal detectors, or as I like to call it, just loose nth metal that's not in a cache, and I will dump these into artifacts, right? So we would just put that in. I'm not doing that right now because I don't have anything that I immediately want to level. So I am just going to hold everything until double XP. Given the time frame that we're in right now, at the time of recording this video, I would expect that we would get at least one more double artifact XP week before the year is out. I would not expect that until October, possibly December, if we get one. Don't quote me that we will get one, but there's a strong possibility that we will get one. So it's a good time to start saving if you're coming across this video now before the end of 2023. It's a good time to start saving so you can get as much as possible. Okay, if you can manage to stack up 300 to 500,000, that's either going to be 6 to a mil with double artifact XP when that comes around. Okay, so my advice: get your artifacts to 120. Really good place to be. After that, you can keep holding the caches and you can use the extra net if you really want to. Because when I switched back to this character to start leveling it, I didn't have Quizlet. I had to scrap whatever artifact I had at the time. I don't even remember what it was, and start Quizlet fresh. I didn't put any money into it. I leveled it from 0 to where it's at now, 145, completely free. So like I said, I don't feel like putting any money into these artifacts, but I do plan on getting them all to 200 and at least getting these over here to 160. Okay. Um, but that is my recommendation to kind of help you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Get your artifacts leveled up a little bit, uh, and then save for double artifact XP. Okay, so also in the meantime, when you're doing this, whether you're doing the membership or not, so if you're doing the membership, you're going to get 4 of these Destiny tokens out of the daily login rewards, and you can use these how you want. You can get a stack of 10 seals of preservation for one of those destiny tokens, or you can get one seal of completion. My recommendation is if you do at least 1 month membership, do 2 of these stacks right here, and then do 2 of these seals of completion. Keep in mind, each artifact you can use these purple seals on up to level 120. 120 it gets a little bit tougher. From 140 to 200, you're going to want to stick to these seals of completion. So unless you just have like a stack of 20 of these that you can burn at 140, you'll probably get it to breakthrough. But it's not ideal, and it's not something I would usually recommend. You can test it once, see if it goes through, and if it doesn't, don't worry about it. Move over to the seal of completion. So keep in mind, you're going to need a couple of these for each artifact. The seals of completion. These are $5 out of the marketplace, or you can get 2 to 4 free from Dr. Fate, depending if you have a monthly membership or not. Okay. So we would say 140, 160, 180, 200. You would need 4 seals of completion ideally to max it out. So that's either going to be $20 or 1 month membership. All right. And keep in mind, guys, the monthly membership, it's like 15, 16 bucks. But there's at least $40 worth of stuff in here. So you don't have to sub every month. I'm not going to tell you to sub at all. But if you are actively leveling your artifacts, and we've talked about this before in other videos, having the membership is a really good way to go. It's not that expensive. I understand not everybody can afford it. It does get a little bit pricey. You got other responsibilities, you got bills, you got real life. I get it. You don't have to spend money on it, and there's no rush, okay? But if you do choose to get the membership, keep in mind there's about $40 worth of stuff in here. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of sauce, okay? I'm going to give you a tip to really work the monthly membership. So right now we're coming close to the end of it. So here's the thing. You can wait until day 21 to get your membership. If you are going to get a membership only once while you're playing, I would wait until the 3rd week, where all of this stuff, we go back, all of this stuff here has already been put out, because as long as you get the membership before it runs out for the 30 days, you will be able to claim all of this stuff. Okay? And then you'll still have a membership going into the next month, where you'll be able to get all this stuff again. So at that point, if you have a little patience and you don't want to sub 2 months, but you want to take advantage of 2 months worth of stuff, get it on the 3rd week. That way you get it on the 21st day, and you can get everything prior up into that point, and then you can still get everything the next week. So realistically, for 16 bucks, you can get yourself 8 of these Destiny tokens, along with all this other stuff, okay? And possibly 10 detectors, depending on how you choose to work it. So, these are just some tips that I wanted to share with you guys. Me, I just usually keep my membership active. It's rare that I don't. It's just, I've been doing it for years. I'm always leveling art, so I'm always using it. But that's what I got for you today, guys. I hope this was helpful, especially if you're new to the game or returning or just working on an alt. We want to be as efficient as possible, okay? So that's what I got for you today. It's been a while. I had to re-record this video. I had done it a couple weeks ago. I know I said I was going to put it out, but I wanted to redo it and scale it down a little bit. This is probably still going to be a slightly longer video than I wanted. But either way, that's all I got for you today, guys. I'll catch you next time. Wooly out. Stay frosty. Drink water.